Welcome to Youth Ki Baat by Youth of India Foundation. In this episode, we feature Saurabh Mangrulkar ji, founder of EventBeep, a platform that makes it easier for students and youth to discover and be a part of events across India. From starting small to building a community driven startup, his journey is about solving real problems, learning along the way, and staying consistent. He talks about the ups and downs of entrepreneurships, the lessons he picked up while building EventBeep, and why young people should never hold back from trying their ideas. Join us for this honest and relatable conversation on Youth Ki Baat. Namaste, Saurabh ji. Welcome to Youth Ki Baat podcast by Youth of India Foundation. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Glad to be here.
Could you please walk us through your journey before starting EventBeep?
Building businesses since I was 13, 14 years old, right from selling computers, laptops to consumers in my society, repairing their computers to then cut to since I was, let's say, in college. The moment I got into college, I realized this is such a waste of time. Like donkeys here being asked to copy paste assignments with no practical stuff. And I had done a lot of practical things before even getting into college. So we had started a college events ticketing platform, something like a book my show, but for college events, wherein what we did is the whole idea was get students out of the classrooms, get them to actually do the real stuff rather than just sitting and looking. So much of talent I was seeing is getting wasted because of the machinery that we have with the education system. So that was the last company that we had built, which we sold, exited that. During that time, we got an understanding with 400 college directors. There's a huge gap between a student coming in from an IIT and a tier 2, tier 3 student.
Right.
That's when we launched Beep. But yeah, we've built at least 3 to 4 businesses before even building what is now Beep.
Alright. So since you said that you entered this entrepreneurship space when you were just 14 years old, what are the qualities of this space that attracted you and how did you actually get into it? What was in your mind कि चलो मुझे नहीं जॉब करना है, मुझे नहीं ये प्रैक्टिकलिटी में घुसना है, मुझे थियोरी में नहीं जाना है. What was running in your mind?
So at that time it was like pretty raw. It wasn't कि मुझे यही करना है. So for example, when I was in school, high school,
Right.
I was a very introvert. I mean, I was scared to talk to my own parents कि कैसे बात करूँगा. And before even, let's say, me crossing 10th, I got hold of some magical audiobooks. And that sort of changed and transformed my life. I mean, there were, let's say, two strong messages in those audiobooks. Number one, no one is better than you, no one is smarter than you. If Bill Gates has done it, if you do the same amount of efforts and what he's done to get there, you can also become that. So, in that sort of changed my perspective. Okay, I can be anyone that I want to. That's number one. So since then, and second is take action. So second is take action. So then made it a point that no matter whatever I see, I'm going to start taking action on it. So be it, let's say, organizing events, कुछ भी मुझे problem statement दिखा in life and career, that's something I'm going to start working on it. I saw कि I had been to Singapore when I was young, and I saw how clean it was. And then in India, I thought, what is it that we're doing? So I said, let's start taking initiative. So we started cleanliness drive, starting collecting garbage and all of that. So that's when we sort of started doing that. So during that, then I got another idea, Kitcha, this is missing. So then it started like a flywheel effect of taking action in every single problem that I see. So ऐसा by design नहीं था कि मुझे job नहीं करना और I do not want to work on a particular thing. It's just that I really want to solve problems which exist,
Right.
and that led to another thing, and that led to another. So yeah, that's in essence
What was the drive behind this solving problems? I need to see if there's a problem that exists, I need to solve it, and there is something that is missing.
Yeah, so like before even getting into all this business and starting a lot of things, initiatives, I did self mastery, which is कि यार पहले दुनिया पे कब्जा करने से पहले खुद पे कब्जा करो. तो what I basically did was analyze what are my values, why am I put on this earth, what happiness means. तो बहुत सारे philosophical चीजें मैंने I sort of understood pretty early on that it's by choice what happiness is. Second, my values is I want to make this world a better place than when I came into it.
Right.
I really want to be there for people, help them, support them, grow them, achieve in through whatever capacities I could. So those were like pretty focused in terms of values and principles that I had set up. So that helped me so much in terms of making decisions in life, कि ये करना है, किसी को cheat करना है versus नहीं, we have to do the right thing. So all of those really
Playing on
helped a lot.
integrity.
Yeah. So that sort of helped me drive these problem statements कि अच्छा, this is something we could do,
Right.
because the foundation was very clear.
How did you meet your co-founders?
Yeah, so Rakhi, I met at one of the events. So she had her own company. I had my own company. It was in a similar domain. So he said, okay, why not let's work together on this. So
Okay.
that's how we met. The other co-founder, Yogesh, he's the CTO. One of our investors suggested that you guys are really good in sales, marketing, business. He's really good in tech. He's also working on something similar. You guys should work together. So that's how, through mentors, investors, we got connected to him. And that's how the three of us have been building companies since then.
Oh, that's great. As you said that you met Rakhi ji when you were at an event.
Mhm.
How important is for the students right now in colleges to attend events like this and to do networking?
Yeah, honestly, event is just a one-time thing.
Hmm.
Okay, it obviously is essential for you to understand what are the different avenues that exist.
Right.
But what we realized when we were building Beep is just by one event, your life is not going to change. It has to be consistent effort to do something better, which means taking up internships, taking up initiatives as you've taken so much. So that really builds up a person eventually. So apart from just college, if you're just doing college 100%, you're not going to get a job. You're
Right.
not going to get opportunities if you've just done college and theoretically studied, because there are hundreds of people who are way ahead of you by doing a lot of practical stuff. So having said that, key one event is not going to change. You have to, let's say, do consistent new initiatives that you have to take in college apart from your studies to really make it out there.
So, what are some of the things that you would advise the students to take up?
Number one is internships. Do a lot of internships. Second, it's the best time to start a startup. You have nothing to lose basically. Okay, ना ही कुछ पैसा है. What will you lose? So, as you sort of grow with age, you will have responsibilities.
Right.
Parents will start expecting money from you. They'll start कि चलो अभी शादी कर ले, अभी कुछ घर की जिम्मेदारी भी कर ले. So it becomes much difficult once you get there. So college is the best time to start a startup, build a business, maybe do like a side hustle, start earning money, have those focuses. Especially if you're not clear ki what do you want to do in your career, try 20 things. Okay.
Hmm.
Try internships in 10 different domains to really figure out, okay, this is something that I really like doing on a daily basis. So that's something which I would suggest. But core, I would suggest start making money,
Hmm.
even if you're just starting college right now.
So, what is the third thing? First is internship, second is startups, and the third thing.
हाँ मतलब projects or like
Alright.
part-time side income, which is those could be initiatives.
Alright.
So startup is actually building an organization, having a team, working on a product. But third thing is also freelancing. Maybe you can start, let's say, your own services that you're offering. So those could be, which is to start making money. So
Right.
these are some of the things you can start before even you enter college.
Starting something comes with a lot of fear, the fear of failure, the fear of if this is going to happen or not.
Yeah.
How do you deal with these failures?
Honestly, it's very different. Like I've been into the US, the way India sort of looks at failures is very bad. It is looked down upon. In US, if you're a failure, you are appreciated, you're rewarded, you've tried, and it's great, awesome, I love it. So that sort of nature is very different. So number one is, you there is going to be failure for sure. You shouldn't be scared of it. Those are, let's say, set of challenges, and if you don't fail, you are not going to grow. Okay, so and for instance, I mean, when I started the company, before even starting it, I did, which is called as worst case scenario thinking. Okay, jahan pe I realized and I noted what are the worst things that can happen to me if things go bad. It was ki I'll jail ho jayegi, maybe I've lost everything, I've lost all my friends, I've lost the entire team, I have nothing left. Like, no problem, whatever happens, I will overcome it. it might take me 5 years, 10 years to build this company. I'm going to build it for sure. So
Right.
it started with that drive, and then I had nothing to lose because I had already assumed the worst things that can happen, and no matter whatever happens, I'm not going to give up. So that intent and drive is something you have to be ready for, because once you get there, you're not in an emotional state to really push yourself. So if
Right.
you're prepared for it even before, then nobody can stop you.
What are the challenges that the startup ecosystem is facing right now?
Ecosystem. So startup itself is thousands of challenges every single day. Even today I have at least 100 problems that are there. Maybe I'm not giving attention to all of them, but there are at least 100 problems that happen every single day, and
Right.
it's kind of traumatizing every single day with so many issues coming at you and being thrown at you, and you have to figure it out all yourself. So startup itself is extremely hard. On the outside you only see success stories, you only see अरे वाह कितना अच्छा किया, but you haven't seen the deaths in terms of the companies. You haven't seen how toxic it is in terms of working on it every single day, even when nothing is working right. So eventually it's something which is very hard, very difficult. That's something which is highlight. But when you talk about the ecosystem per se, I always compare it to the US, because we've seen major companies build out of the US, which are world leading giants right now. And that's because of the appetite, which is risk appetite. For
Right.
instance, just to give you understanding, let's say when we look at investors here in India, okay, let's say we are raising 50 lakh rupees, as small as 50 lakh rupees. We pitch to an investor in India, they'll ask me at least 100 questions for this 50 lakh rupees. Okay, show me your numbers, what, and even if you're like just starting out, you have like some traction, you're just starting out, they'll ask you your parents' ka balance sheet, se leke everything. Cut to when I was in US, I pitched the same thing. In just and this, let's say, would take me 3 months with this 50 lakh guy
Right.
to sort of go due diligence. Cut to when I was in US, I met this investor, or anyone that I was meeting. The moment I pitched, at the end of the conversation, like कितने पैसे चाहिए? Like he's like, you tell me a number. I'm like, 90 lakhs. Okay, done. Send me the term sheet. I'll wire it to you immediately without even asking a single question, because for them it's very clear it's the founder that I'm betting on. You'll figure out the business, I know for sure.
Right.
So that intent, that hunger, that speed, we have to move quickly is very high. So that ecosystem is really missing. And यहाँ पे people are much more like, risk averse. Ki we do not want to sort of take a lot of risks. So that is something which has to sort of, because then innovation will happen, then
Right.
people will actually see this as a path to career, rather than just looking for safety and security through jobs. That has to change.
Very right. So, if you were an investor right now,
Mhm.
what is one type of business that you would invest in? One part. And the other part is what are the top three things you would see in the business?
If I were an investor, number one is it's all about the founder. It's not about what business it is, what category it is. Maybe there are 3 to 4 categories that I'm extremely excited about. I love sports, so anything with sports tech, that's something I would definitely invest in. Second, I love AI and technology, so anything with advanced integrations and something which would change lives in future is something I would bet upon. And third is consumer, which is e-commerce. So consumer goods, consumer products is something I really relate to, branding and marketing. So if these are the three sectors, I would be deeply interested. But honestly, it all depends on the founder, who is the person who's going to build this.
Talking about AI, how did you see the gap between hiring and then you actually got bridged the gap with the use of AI, hire AI?
With AI, I mean, again, like one thing that you need to understand is, although there's like a lot of hype about tech and AI and ML, but honestly, all the technologies, those are just enablers to achieve a certain outcome to the users. For
Right.
us, it's very clear. We want to, let's say, create an ecosystem which replicates an IIT and IM for these tier 2, tier 3 students, which is access to internship jobs, helping them in their career by giving them a career journey report, interviews, how they could be better in their careers. Now AI becomes a natural enabler, wherein it can do all the routine and mundane tasks at
Right.
scale, and that too with a greater efficiency. So for us, it was natural inclination the way we are using AI in our platform right now. For example, if you are applying for internships on a platform, okay, you apply, you don't hear back for 15 days, a month, 2 months. Most of the times, you never hear back from these companies. What now we are doing is the moment you apply for an internship, within the first 2 hours of you applying, you will get your rejected, shortlisted, along with reasons of why you were shortlisted or rejected, that you do not fit XYZ things. You should start working on these specific skill set for you to actually get shortlisted for this job. So that's number one. Second, you have an AI interview call the minute you get onboarded onto the platform,
Okay.
wherein it will ask you questions. What is your family income? What exactly is your future aspiration? What is really important? Startup freedom. Basis on that and your resume, it will generate a career roadmap. This is something
Hmm.
you could do. You're saying that you want to be a data analyst, but it's impossible for you to be a data analyst if you do not do these three things in the next 3 to 4 years of your career. So yeah, we're using AI for companies to hire and do interviews at scale. So an AI can do more than 5,000 interviews in just the next 10 minutes. So
That's
something
great.
which HR companies took 3 months, they're doing in the next 30 minutes or so. So yeah, that's where we're sort of using AI now.
That's great. Kudos to you for that. I would ask the next question to be, what do you think are the some inculcations that need to be done in a resume for it to look actually appealing?
Sure. So the number one thing is it has to be customized for the job. Okay. It
Okay.
can't be general one size fits all, because as an intern what we see, we have more than 1 million users on our platform, and on a daily basis we see people mindlessly just applying the same resume to hundreds and thousands of jobs. Apply, it's not going to work. You have to really fine tune it for a specific role. Okay, number one is don't just apply on other platforms, LinkedIn, Indeed, or other platforms. Reach out to the founders. So let's say in terms of resume specifically, it has to be optimized. If you're applying for a marketing role, even if you've worked in other companies at a different role, highlight how marketing was a core factor also in your job and bring that out. So the resume has to be optimized basis on what role you're looking for, because what found companies and recruiters look at, are you focused enough? Are you, let's say from start you started with a junior marketing executive, then you became like a marketing manager and a senior marketing manager. So they see, okay, you're passionate, you don't have to worry कि अच्छा you'll look for another domain or you're not
Right.
focused. So that's something you have to show that story in your resume.
What are some of the skills that humans need to acquire in the next 5 years, since AI is actually taking over most of the things? What are the skills that humans actually need to acquire?
Number one is problem solving is going to become much harder to find because ChatGPT can solve majority of day-to-day problems. So finding smart people is going to be much more challenge because everyone is using ChatGPT, no one is using their brain. So that's going to be one of the biggest, prized possession that recruiters are going to look. Is this guy smart enough to analyze, look at problem
Right.
statements, and give solutions? Obviously, AI can do most of things, but that's why we need humans to
Do
sort
you
of.
think it cuts individuality as well?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's just like gym, if you don't use your brain, it's not going to build muscle. Similarly, if you don't do problem solving, if you don't get to the core and bottom of a particular problem, analyze it, and then look at solution, um, that's your brain is not going to work. So it has to be like a muscle that you need to develop over a period of time. So that's number one for sure, which is problem solving skills that yeah, candidates need to work upon. And second, third would be typically communication. That's going to be much more important of how you communicate, because that's exactly one of the things that we see lacking in candidates right now, that their communication is extremely poor. So that's
Okay.
another thing that we need to sort
All
of
right.
look at candidates. Yeah.
How important do you think is it for a person to be the best prompter right now?
Best prompter. I mean, for sure, like especially if you're a good problem solver, especially if you're someone who's really smart, you'll find prompts much better. But again, I think that's everyone would become a good prompter because they're using in their day-to-day life anyway. They're
They're
finding,
practicing it
yeah,
and
they're
they are
practicing it,
understanding from it.
understand, "Acha, this was not good enough. Maybe this is how I need to do it."
Right.
So, in a way or not, people are anyway going to sort of do it. It is just going to make AI tools much better, that even prompts are not needed then on, which is the tools, products that are going to come out are going to be a product of the whole prompt that the whole community is providing. So a lot of solutions are going to be developed around those issues that people are voicing right now on the AI.
Right.
So it is going to be, but not as much that you should think of it as a career in itself. Yeah, I'm going to be a prompter. Honestly, it's one of those low value,
Prompt
yeah,
engineer.
prompt engineering
Right.
is where it would stand as of now.
What is your favorite vertical under Beep and why do you like it?
That's a good question. So we have four different verticals. One is the Beep app, Beep Hire, which is the recruiters. Then we have UniBeep, which is for universities, a portal that we do, and Beep Learn, which is the courses vertical. My favorite is the Beep app, which is the product that we help students really change lives. And second would be Beep Hire, which is helping recruiters hire candidates at scale. So it's like magic for companies. So those are two are my personal favorites.
It's actually an intersection. It
Yeah,
works hand to hand.
correct.
Right. So, what is the one achievement that you had in Beep which was like the topmost of all, and you felt like, okay, I have done something?
Honestly, अब तक ऐसा कुछ लगा नहीं. Although like we have been on Shark Tank, TED Talk speaker awarded by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. A lot of things have happened, but honestly, these awards don't mean a lot to me unless and until we change a lot of lives. So I think I would sort of feel that way once we really look at the students who are using the platform really transform their lives. So जब कोई comes to us and says कि we use the app, I got my first internship and how I bought sari for my mother with my own salary. That's something
That's
we feel proud of. So yeah, those are user stories that really feel कि हाँ we are doing something right.
any one specific story that touched your
हाँ
heart?
बहुत सारे. I mean there were, let's say, people from students from Bihar who couldn't speak. Through the platform we got them through mentors, and then they started getting confidence. Then they landed a job in Bangalore, which was not even their domain, and they're getting really, the entire family is extremely proud of that girl, of how she's been able from no one to actually working in a corporate. So, yeah,
And earning
those,
well.
yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. What's as you mentioned about Shark Tank? How was your experience with Shark Tank, and could you share more about it? What was happening behind the scenes? What was running on your mind?
Yeah, it was very exciting because of the fact that again it's all a set life. Okay, like what you see, it's like there is cardboard behind it, and even if the set that you look, it looks so
Hmm.
premium,
Hmm.
but it's hollow from behind. There's nothing in it, and even जो पूरा set था वो पूरा खंडर में बना था. Like the whole place was like गिर जाएगा at any point. So it is, हाँ, on set, it on camera it feels like a really polished thing, but at the back it is all a showpiece. The half side is entirely cut जहाँ पे the whole camera crew is there
Okay.
of the set, and they go back and forth with the filming and all. So we were invited 2 days before for practice, for doing mock sessions, for due diligences of the business before pitching. And when we went on Shark Tank, it was the first time. So the whole pitch happens for 2 hours, okay? And
Okay.
on TV they only show 10 minutes. So questions back and one question of the other, it's pretty exhaustive, the whole process of pitching. But on camera, like on TV, they just show the
Glorified
polished,
version of it.
glorified version of it. So a lot of funny stories happened, especially. And on TV they only show 100, but in the
Hmm.
back end they do at least 250, 300 pitches.
Okay.
Yeah, 250 do not even show up on the TV because they were not good enough apparently.
All right. So,
So
do they get the deals?
no,
Okay.
majority of them don't get the deal. In our case, there were six other startups pitching right before us. None of them got deals. We are like, oh shit,
Bad mood.
yeah, bad day. But then we was the one that got the first deal that day. So
What was the aftermath after getting the deal?
It was amazing. We didn't expect so much. We got 2 lakh users in just 1 to 2 days of launching on Shark Tank. We got investors all across the world coming to us that we would want to invest in your company. We got offers from at least 7 different countries that we would, government of Bangladesh, a lot of countries reached out that we would want to have similar platform in our countries as well. So it was quite exciting, and we were the same people, watchmen से लेके बार बार started recognizing अरे आप वो टीवी पे शार्क टैंक पे थे. So yeah, that was pretty exciting and game changing. We saw the power of media that day, how much it can make a difference.
There's a lot of personal branding that also comes in
Yeah,
Shark
for
Tank, right?
sure. I mean, it like simply लो, like my mom and dad, when I before Shark Tank, they're like, क्या कर रहा है? Are you sure you must be waste like don't you think you're wasting a lot of your time? Like कुछ आ भी नहीं रहा ना, nor are you getting any salary.
Right.
But the day I appeared on Shark Tank, she started crying कि वाह मेरे बेटे ने कुछ किया है. So like जब तक वो validation नहीं आया, it was like हाँ, so that is obviously changes a lot of perspective.
राइट, एक entrepreneur के लाइफ में वैसे भी सैलरी बहुत ही ज्यादा बाद में आती है,
हाँ,
तो इट्स जस्ट द पैशन दैट ड्राइव्स इट ऑल द वे.
correct. हाँ, so it's choice कि short term versus long term. At that point for us, the amount of money was extremely important to reinvest in the company, grow it, and उसको support करो, so that now it's become like 150 crore empire company. So yeah, those small sacrifices make a lot of difference later on. But some startup founders day one से salary लेते हैं, which is fine if they're earning a lot. We were like straight out of college, didn't know how things work, figure things out ourselves, make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, it's a personal choice.
How did you let students be aware of what you are, and how did they adapt it?
Me are or the app is?
The app is.
Okay. So yeah, I mean we went college by college, तो हमने थोड़ा सा tricks and scams use किए.
अच्छा,
बताना नहीं चाहिए, but anyway, so what we did was
सुन
हमने
सकते हैं.
हमने what we said कि we want to take a सर्वे, कॉलेज में सर्वे लेना है हमें, ठीक है.
Okay.
प्रिंसिपल्स के पास जाके गए, वी वर फीचर्ड यहाँ वहाँ, सो यू वांट टू टेक अ स्मॉल सर्वे. तो सर्वे के बहाने हम क्लासरूम्स में जाते थे, एंड देन वी यूज्ड टू प्रमोट आवर ऐप इनडायरेक्टली कि हम ऐसे ऐसे एंड वी वांट योर सर्वे. एंड
Okay.
सर्वे के नीचे हम सारे डिटेल्स भर के, दे यूज्ड टू लाइक फिल देयर फॉर्म्स मैन्युअली. वहाँ पे तब गूगल फॉर्म्स वो सब नहीं था, था भी तो क्लासरूम्स में इंटरनेट नहीं आता था. सो वी यूज्ड टू आस्क देम टू फिल फॉर्म्स. सर्वे के हमारे पास इतने फॉर्म्स हो गए थे 1,000 बच्चों के, लाइक दे हैव एक्चुअली रिटन. देन वी हायर्ड अ डेटा एंट्री गर्ल हु यूज्ड टू गेट ऑल ऑफ दिस डेटा ऑन एक्सेल शीट टाइप करके मैन्युअली, एंड देन वी यूज्ड टू सेंड देम मैसेजेस पर्सनली कि डाउनलोड दिया है ऐप. देन हम मॉल्स में बाहर जाके बच्चों को बोलते हैं आप डाउनलोड कराओ. सो या वी स्टार्टेड देयर. Then we started partnering with colleges. Then we used a lot of SMS tools, email tools to start getting users onto the platforms. Huh? Started with like a very hacky way.
Jugaad
हाँ,
completely.
जुगाड़,
So
yeah.
you were the marketing team yourself.
Correct. Essence. तो ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें की, but हाँ, those were some of those.
उस टाइम तो फिर then there would have been a lot of burnout. There would have been a lot of points where you felt like giving up. Were there?
हाँ, so before starting the whole company, I used to be like extremely YouTube motivation. मतलब सारे videos देखो कि startup, and then typical वो कि they punch you 10 times but 11 times you get up and be ready again. वो सारा तो it was pretty pumped up, and then every video पे ऐसा था कि hard work beats everything, hard work beats everything. Hard work beats talent, hard work beats passion. तो वैसे सारी like hard work is the शॉर्टकट टू सक्सेस, तो वो सारे चीज़ें था. सो इट वाज लाइक प्रीटी पम्प्ड अप कि हार्ड वर्क ही करना है अब. सो एंड देन ये सारा कि चलो बिकॉज इतना सारा काम था, एंड वी यूज्ड टू वर्क सो हार्ड लाइक 14-15 आवर्स अ डे, अभी भी करते सेम ही. बट हाँ, उतना ध्यान में नहीं आया कि अच्छा पर्सनल लाइफ भी कुछ होती है, बर्नआउट करके भी कुछ होता है. फॉर अस दैट इज ओनली लाइफ, एंड वी फाउंड जॉय इन इट. लाइक इट वाज प्रीटी फन, द होल thing.
How would you define hard work reflecting on your journey?
मजा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल फॉर मी एज अ प्रिंसिपल,
मजा है.
हाँ, सो फॉर मी एज अ प्रिंसिपल इट वाज कि whatever I do, I'm going to be the best at it. Okay, so whatever it takes to become the best at it, I'm going to do it. So no matter what thing that I do in my life, be it personal, be it professional or work, I am going to make sure that I do the best. So that was like my ethics and values in terms of um, building myself. That's why. एंड सेकेंड थिंग जो मैंने बहुत जल्दी फिगर आउट की विच इज सीक्रेट ऑफ लाइफ कि व्हाट इज द रीजन दैट यू आर ऑन दिस प्लैनेट बताओ यू टेल मी व्हाट इज द रीजन दैट यू आर ऑन दिस प्लैनेट
To make the lives of other people and ourselves better.
नहीं मतलब व्हाट इज इवेंचुअली गोल लाइक हाँ तुम क्यों करते हो ये सब क्या मिलता है लेट्स से मेकिंग पीपल लाइफ बेटर व्हाट विल यू गेट
A sense of happiness.
एग्जैक्टली हैप्पीनेस इवेंचुअल गोल इज हैप्पीनेस लाइक अगर तुम हैप्पी नहीं हो तो नो मैटर व्हाट यू डू इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेस्ट एंड देन आई फिगर्ड आउट अनदर थिंग कि हैप्पीनेस इज सब्जेक्टिव हैप्पीनेस इज चॉइस इट इज नॉट कि ये किया तब भी मैं हैप्पी होऊंगा there are some people who have nothing but they're happy with whatever they have okay there are some people they have everything but not happy with it so what I realized very early on is happiness is choice okay you choose to be happy with whatever you have or whatever you don't have so then I said कि ठीक है no matter whatever I have I'm going to be happy and content with life obviously बहुत सारी चीज़ें करनी है बट जो भी मैं चीज़ करूँगा आई एम गोइंग टू बी हैप्पी एंड हैव फन वाइल डूइंग इट इवन इफ मेरी लगी पड़ी है आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू बी हैप्पी अबाउट इट बिकॉज इट्स फन सो
Right.
उसकी वजह से इतने सारे इश्यूज आए mom both kidney failures dad heart attack surgery so many company के issues problems टीम को सैलरी देने के लिए पैसे नहीं है to everyone left in the company at the same time. We had nobody. Had to start it all over again. But all of those issues happened. But then I was like, it's fine. Challenge hai and be happy because what I realized कि when I'm going to be on my deathbed और सब खत्म हो गया है, I want to look back and say कि no matter what happened, you were happy throughout everything. You don't want to be like I was miserable, I was in like pain, I was ऐसा नहीं life देखना है. So yeah, that being said, I try to find fun in everything that I do. Be happy at whatever I do. It made things much more simpler, but simpler नहीं होती है. It's very hard, but mental peace wise, it all cool.
It is actually said that the human brain multiplies or divides the existing emotions itself,
Yeah,
looking at opportunities and threats.
correct.
So, if you feel like that you're happy all the time, if you put that emotion as happiness,
Yeah.
even though you have an opportunity, you will be 10 times more happy about it. And when you're sad, you have a threat, you'll take a look at it very positively.
Yeah,
So, that is what happens. When you see an obstacle, it's upon you if you want to jump or trip and fall.
exactly. No, that's what wherever attention goes, energy flows. Whatever you put your attention on,
Right.
that's where the energy is going to go.
Right. Where do you see, so with the attention on point, where do you see Beep moving in the next 3 to 5 years?
So we want to change the way young professionals and young students change, the way they learn and earn in college. That's what we want to change globally. With the mission कि we want to create an ecosystem which replicates an IIT and IIM. वो तब होगा when students find jobs of their passion, not कि बल्क कंपनी किसी सेल्स जॉब के लिए आ रही है उनको सबको भरना है इसलिए.
Hmm.
It has to be by choice. I want to do this is the reason I'm getting this job. So that's where we want to get to about 10 million students in the next 3 years. We want to onboard about 10,000 colleges that we help and transform their environments and ecosystem. So yeah, that's overall the plan. Eventually what matters is the alumni, like how deeply rooted are they. Let's say if someone has gone through a masters union, would they have the same sort of sense of you know sense of ownership what a Stanford or an IM guy would have with their alumni? If
Yeah.
yes, then they've done a great job. If no, then maybe it's very hard to replace because the reason why IITs are IITs is because of their alumni or people
Network.
who are like, I want to. So, for example, one person comes to him with like a funding, and another person from his own college comes to him with funding. He 100% times will prefer his alumni. Ki, I want to get my guy with like a lot of exposure. So that bias is always going to happen. So the reason why these colleges are those is because of their network.
With the network, other than colleges, what are the other places that people can have, the students can have a better networking at?
The best bet is colleges, but let's say if it really depends on what field. If you want to get into startups, accelerator programs, incubator programs, they have a lot of mentorship networks that are available to them. So they can start with those. Third is just start reaching out to people with the fact that you need help, and just sort of help them navigate their certain career aspects. That's something they can at least start off with, or events. So those are, let's say, some things. But what, let's say, a college typically brings is something very hard to find outside.
Hmm.
So it will come by action. If you're really proven something that you are worth, people will take a look and help you. If you're just like an average kid who has done nothing and just randomly reaching out to hundreds of people, nobody is going to give you any
The
of their
right
time.
space
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So it's also about the opportunities that you grab along the way.
It's first to prove yourself. For example, just to give you, let's say if there's a person who's working in Google or Microsoft, there are hundreds of students reaching out, can you help me, can you help me.
Hmm.
He is going to look at the profile, is this person worth enough of my time? So if
Hmm.
you yourself have not proven yourself before, you've not done a lot of things before, nobody is going to give you a shot. So it first starts with taking initiatives, take projects, start doing something outside what you are already studying. So if you do that well, yes, people would give you those opportunities. If not, opportunities will come very less.
Very right.
Yeah.
What is the one habit that you follow every day and you would recommend a young person watching this podcast to follow?
Goals, writing goals. Like, a lot of you would have wishes कि मेरे को बड़ा घर चाहिए, बड़ी गाड़ी चाहिए, बड़ा खुद का business होगा. So all of those is something that everyone has. Drivers, laborers, villagers, सबके पास होते हैं कि मेरे पास होगा. These are wishes. Everyone has them. सबको लगते हैं these are goals. These are not goals. Those become goals once you write it, make it measurable, and have a deadline to it. So that's one of the habits that really changed my life. Something which I had written 8 years ago, magically when I saw it last month, everything came true. So yeah, that's one of the habits that I would recommend.
Does it power the manifestation as well?
Yeah, for sure. So along with that, I also do visualization, seeing myself 5 years from now. How would my life look like? How would I want my ideal life to look like?
Right.
So yeah, everything around me then sort of starts moving very fast towards that direction. But खुद मेहनत करता हूँ तब जाके. But
Hard work is the key.
yeah,
Hard
so
work and
short is a
consistency.
shortcut to success.
Right, very
Yeah.
right. What's one advice that somebody has given you and it has already stuck your mind?
Mm, Advice. I think the one that I mentioned, which is nobody is better than you, no one is smarter than you. If every skill is learnable, be it business skill, be it any other skill, everything, if someone else has done it, you can do it as well. If you just put in the effort, if you just put in the practice, you will be able to do it without any issues. It might take maybe a bit longer, but there's no
Right.
reason why you can't do what someone else is doing. So that habit or that particular insight has really changed my life of seeing things.
That's great. So, if you could swap your life with someone right now, who would it be and why?
Wow, interesting question. Swap my life with someone. Mm, Maybe like some politician.
मुझे लगा
Maybe.
माई सेल्फ बोलोगे.
Why will I swap my life with myself?
मैं अपना फेवरेट हूँ.
Oh
आई
नहीं,
थॉट.
इतना सेल्फ ऑब्सेशन नहीं. मैं हूँ फेवरेट अपना. But no, I would like to explore. So maybe a politician, let's say,
Right.
someone with power who can really do a lot of difference rather
Hmm.
than just being corrupt. So maybe a politician or a minister in Maharashtra. I'll at least start with one small city, developing it really well. There are so many issues, especially with Pune. How infrastructure could be better, how small changes, let's say, towards traffic and all the initiatives could be better. I would really like to swap and build my expertise to solve city-wise problems and sort of do a much better job.
What would you change in the education system of India?
education system is industry involvement very aggressively. People has to get exposure right from first year. Attendance should not be mandatory. Ideas and innovation has to be entertained. They have to be pushed towards building their own startups. They have to be pushed towards ki whatever you want to do, it's a playground. Start, we are there to support you, and creating an ecosystem which sort of helps them grow. That's something I would change.
That's great. What's the first thing that you do as soon as you wake up in the morning?
Write goals, visualize, then I go play tennis for 1 hour and then get back to work.
Would you call yourself a workaholic person?
Ah, nothing substantial can be built if you do not do crazy or obsession driven work. अगर कुछ उखाड़ना है तो you have to put in those hours. नहीं तो you'll just become a mediocre average guy, which I hate being. So yeah.
I also hate lazy, ambitious people who actually have that ambition to do something but are not actually working towards it.
मतलब ambition है, lazy है, then maybe they'll, if they are able to find ways to achieve it without even putting a lot of effort, that's also fine, which is also like smart work. So it has to be a mix of both. ऐसा नहीं कि चलो हर प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन मैं ही हूँ, मे भी कोई और सोल्यूशन है, मैं बस इसको इस पे कनेक्ट करवाता हूँ, मेरा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गया. So it is not always like going headstrong and head first towards the problem.
Right.
There are, let's say, tricky ways of solving those as well, so those would work as well.
So with that, I have a lot of classmates too. Since I'm also studying right now, I have a lot of classmates who are actually, there's something called cognitive dissonance. आपको करना बहुत कुछ है बट आप उसके लिए काम नहीं करोगे. You want to build a suppose 1 crore company. I'll be low on numbers right now. 1 crore company in the next 1 year. You're very sure about it, but you're actually not taking steps. I don't know why they're not taking steps. Have you come across stories like this?
Obviously, I mean, let's say if you look at the whole population, about 80-90% of them out of 100% really want to do something. ठीक है, करना है सबको. About 30% actually do something. ठीक है, देन पहले तो 70% तो कुछ करेंगे ही नहीं. ठीक है,
छोड़
थर्टी
देंगे सोच
परसेंट
के.
30% जो करेंगे फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में थोड़ा सा द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम दैट दे सी दे विल गिव अप. ठीक है, अब वो 30% में भी ओनली 10% विल इवेंचुअली परसिस्ट. ठीक है, कि लेट्स डू इट. उसमें भी इन द नेक्स्ट 3 to 4 years they are going to give up. So eventually hardly 3 to 4% of people actually end up, and that is how the population is scattered. 70-80% mediocre ही रह जाते हैं. खाना पीना रैट रेस, सैलरी कमाओ, खर्च करो, वापस कमाओ, खर्च करो,
2 टाइम का खाना.
हाँ, देन लोन्स ले लेते हैं, फिर नाउ आई कैन गेट rid of a job, then whole cycle repeats. So that's number one, which is where everyone stays any which ways, which is mediocre people. जो एक बार करते मे बी दे डू थोड़ा सा अच्छा लाइफ में, but that too is like pretty average, which let's say any particular thing can break them down.
Right.
And eventually it's 80-20 rule. 20% of people earn 80% of the value in the entire economy. So that is the reason there is always less crowd towards the last mile. So
Very right, very right. What's your one favorite memory with the team at Beep?
one favorite memory, बहुत सारे memories है. I have like one memory would be, हमारे पास पैसे नहीं थे सैलरीज देने को, इंटर्न्स को स्टाइपेंड्स देने को, एंड वी वर क्लूलेस. देन वी गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी जहाँ पे पॉलिटिशियंस कोई रैली कर रहे थे, कोई नया लॉन्च था इवेंट. तो दे सेड कि हर पर पर्सन वी विल गिव यू 500 रुपीज़ फॉर कमिंग टू दिस इवेंट. ऐसे मैंने 10 लोगों को बुलाया कि आ जाओ, अपने को पैसे मिल जाएंगे. सो वी गॉट 5,000 रुपीज़. उसके थ्रू हमने सैलरीज पे की, स्टाइपेंड पे किया इंटर्न्स को हमारे. सो दैट वाज कि हमने सबको, बच्चों को इकट्ठा किया कि भाई बस अटेंड करो, पैसे कमाए, एंड देन उनको इंटर्न्स को स्टाइपेंड दिया. सो दैट वाज प्रीटी क्रेजी.
It's nice. And what's one fun memory with, except your puns? What is the one fun memory that you have with the team?
फन मेमोरी, हाँ ये था डिफरेंट। अनदर फन मेमोरी क्या था यार, बहुत
Puns.
हर हर डे फनी होता है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें करते हैं हम। तो मे बी गोवा ट्रिप्स, देन वी गॉन टू लाइक माउंटेन क्लाइंबिंग, तो वहाँ गए हम, बहुत सारी चीज़ें की हैं, टू मच
That's
फन।
that's nice. What's one favorite travel memory of yours? Leave the team aside.
ट्रैवल मेमोरी वॉज fun and torturous. So I did like a mountaineering course. This was
Okay.
armed forces का mountaineering course in Arunachal Pradesh, China border. 30 days, 350 kilometers we had to trek to like a glacier, जिसमें ice climbing, rock climbing, river crossing, extreme conditions में we had to tent 20 kgs backpack लेके क्लाइंब करना, इतना टॉर्चर, बट दैट वाज द मोस्ट मेमोरेबल मेमोरी। एंड देन मेरा फ्रेंड तो ये लेके गया कि वेकेशन के लिए जाएंगे, आई डेंट नो दिस वाज द माउंटेनियरिंग का आर्मी वाला कोर्स, उसमें बस 20 सिविलियंस जाते एंड द रेस्ट 60 आर आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के, जो आर्म्ड फोर्सेस में सर्व
Okay.
करते ऑन द बॉर्डर्स। इट इज़ फॉर अपस्किलिंग देम, and I went thought of as vacation, and then I figured, oh shit, this is like another level of certification. And then 20 civilians में से in the first week 14 left कि can't do, because 1 second late आते हो to any of the drills, they hit you with sticks on the back and ask you to do 100 push-ups।
Okay.
100 push-ups से एक काम हुआ, मारेंगे, मिट्टी खाओ कुछ भी करो, पुशअप्स करने ही है। तो that was torture, but that was some memorable
So why did you
memory।
not decide on leaving it?
नहीं नहीं, I तो as mentioned कि whatever I do I'm going to do the best at it, so I became the second best student in that entire batch, in spite being a civilian। So उसमें I was the best person to do ice climbing,
Crazy.
rock climbing I was one of the second best student, तो whole batch में I became the second, I got an award for that too। So yeah, it was crazy, but मतलब at every minute I used to get कि मैं मरने वाला हूँ, because it was so hard, it was so hard, I had to really train my thought कि नहीं, you can push harder, you can push harder। So I fainted also one of the
You
times,
did?
yeah, because 20 kgs backpack and then धूप में इतनी चढ़ाई पे, and then you have to just keep pushing yourself, so pretty extreme।
Would you have any regret if something very extreme happened?
नहीं, like I, for example, there was like a race also, which is like mile 3 4 5 7 8 kilometers ka race, you had to clock in within a time to really get 10 points। तो फिर मैं फुल स्पीड में भागा एंड देन आई चढ़ाई एंड लाइक शिट, एंड देन मेरे से पीछे लोग जा रहे हैं, like, नहीं आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गिव अप, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गिव अप, माय ब्रेन स्टार्टेड फ्रीजिंग कि नहीं, you have to stop, नहीं तो body is going to give up, like नहीं I'm not going to stop। So the mind starts playing game on yourself, I'm like nahi, I'm going to push, and then like a brain fade happened। I dropped, मतलब after completing मैं पूरा, I dropped almost dead on the ground कि चक्कर था ही, मैं तो बेहोश ही हो गया, and then उठा तो I saw that I made it in time। So that sort of pushing, I just saw कि मेरे body के limits कितने हैं and how my mind can really push myself much harder। So a lot of self discoveries happened during that, but yeah, that was one of the most memorable things that I did।
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
So
know।
we're towards the end of the podcast right now. What is the one advice that you would want to give to the young listeners watching it today?
मैं भी यंग हूँ वैसे, but
Yeah.
young
So
list,
from a young person to a young person.
um one advice, I mean, I would give like 3 steps।
Okay.
राइट गोल्स, नंबर वन, इवन इफ तुम ये पॉडकास्ट से कुछ नहीं लोगे, आफ्टर क्लोजिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट टेक अ नोटबुक, राइट डाउन 10 थिंग्स दैट यू रियली वांट टू अचीव इन लाइफ 10 years फ्रॉम नाउ, नॉट टास्क कि आज मुझे खाना पकाना है, वो नहीं, वो टास्क होते हैं। 10 years फ्रॉम नाउ, व्हाट इज द लाइफ दैट यू रियली वांट, इट कुड बी कि आई वांट टू ओन अ विला वर्थ 100 crores, आई वांट टू ओन अ प्राइवेट जेट, आई वांट टू स्टार्ट माई ओन बिजनेस वर्थ XYZ crores। तो राइट डाउन 10 of them, मेक प्लान्स, ठीक है, हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू अचीव देम, एंड देन टेक एक्शन, एक एक्शन एवरी सिंगल डे, स्टार्ट डूइंग इट। So yeah, that's my agenda. And मतलब for example, तुम if you've seen this podcast, content की कमी नहीं है. There are hundreds of videos. You know, you see Sandeep Mahesh with से लेके 1000 videos. You look at the number of views on those videos in millions. At least 10% of them took some action, or India would have been in a better place altogether. So
Very right.
take action. That is one takeaway, is what I would say. हजार चीजें, so that's something which changed my life forever. I said कि I'll listen to less, I'll watch less videos, but the moment I watch something, I'm going to pause, I'm going to take action, and then continue. So today whatever I am is because of that particular habit. You're just taking action every single day.
Taking the first step.
Yeah.
That is the perfect note to end the podcast on. Thank you so much, Saurabh ji,
Thank
for
you.
coming to Youth Ki Baat podcast. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you.
It was wonderful speaking to you.